What made me first suspect Joe was that he knew more than any innocent person should have known.
I suspected Irene the moment I heard the fireman's testimony.
You have the unimportant facts.
I suspected Elaine.
the postman after he testified.
I suspected.
Listen to radio's newest, most interesting and thrilling program, Suspicion. And now, Suspicion. Somewhere in the drama about to be presented is a seemingly unimportant fact, a hidden clue that first casts suspicion on the ultimate culprit. Listen regularly to this thrilling series. Test your powers of observation and deduction and find the hidden clue. It may be a single line, a sound, perhaps a complete scene. All names and characters depicted in this story are fictitious. Any resemblance to persons living or dead is entirely coincidental. In The Traitor, the story we presented last time in this series, do you remember this scene? While searching for the would-be assassins of Prince Akbar, Clive Bristol of the British Foreign Office is kidnapped. Chief Inspector Davis of Scotland Yard is called in on the case, and with the assistance of Maisie Benton, locates the house in which Bristol is held. Davis enters the house, only to be held up by the red-headed man. But the tables are again turned when Maisie...
Hands up, fast.
Good work, Maisie. We'll take Bristol and this red-headed man...
One side, sister.
Shoot him, Maisie. You're shooting too high.
You're shooting too high, ladies and gentlemen, was the hidden clue. Maisie Benton and the red-headed man were Confederates, and the girl rescued Davis in an attempt to have him place greater faith in her. And now, the final crash. Late one evening in June, a sleek, low-winged monoplane speeds high across the sky toward Kenwell Airport. Alone in the craft, pilot Tommy Gray switches on to his two-way radio, talks to Betty Matson, radio operator at the landing field.
Everything's okay, buddy. Say, I didn't know what real flying was till I took this baby up. After a few adjustments, even the Army pilots will say that they're...
Tommy, what's wrong? I don't hear the motors. Tommy, answer at once. What's happened?
Buddy, can you hear me, buddy?
Yes, go ahead.
All three motors are dead. Switch on the landing lights. If I overshoot the field, I'll crash on Hobson's Hill. Call Ray Brown, and I'll see what I can do to bring you...
Tommy! Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy!
Naturally, we didn't say anything about this before, Patsy. We all liked your husband, and...
I understand, Ray.
Oh, I'm no good at words. It's just this. If you want to stay here, Pete and I have a job for you. It isn't much, but...
Thanks, but I have a little money of my own. Not much, but enough to get by on. After I patent Tom, my husband's invention, What's the matter?
Patsy, Tommy's invention isn't worth...
Oh.
Well, don't depend on it too much.
Oh, but he showed me all the plans before he crashed. He had it tested on the Swallow, and it worked fine. Except for the automatic takeover. I think that's what he called it.
Yes, I have a set of his plans in my desk. But I thought he'd given up the idea after we tried it on a model and it didn't work.
Oh, it wouldn't work on a model, Ray. It had to be tested on a real plane. I believe Tommy knew what adjustment was needed, and I'm sure he made it. On the plans, at any rate.
It's odd he didn't tell me. After all, we were in the idea more or less together, Tommy and
Something's
Pete.
wrong with that plane, Ray. Look!
Stay here, Patsy.
No, I'm going with you.
They got him, too.
Buddy, what do you mean?
Nothing.
What do you mean, Buddy?
First it was Tommy, then my brother.
Oh, but...
You might as well know, Patsy. Your husband was testing one of the new planes, same as George. Each one had been up a half an hour when the motors went out. I heard an explosion just before your husband crashed.
Oh.
I bet that's what...
You mean that...
They were murdered.
Oh.
There were pieces of metal, parts of a bomb in the wreckage of Tommy's plane. Ray and Pete said to keep quiet about it. They'd try to find out who did it before saying anything to you.
Oh.
I told George not to take...
Tommy's invention, that's why he was killed.
Oh, yeah? George didn't know anything about the crash preventer. George was just a... Why'd you send him up today, Ray? He had a hunch he shouldn't have gone.
Oh, take it easy, buddy.
Ray, is it true that there was a bomb in Tommy's ship?
Now, listen, Patsy, that's...
Tell her the truth.
Yes, it's true, Patsy. Probably the same thing happened to George.
Oh, but
The whole
surely...
affair must be kept secret. The Army is interested in this model, and probably is a light bomber. If they don't buy it, well, Pete and I are almost broke.
What's that got to do with Tommy and George?
Well, another company is building an almost identical plane. Ours is better, but nearly twice as expensive. This other outfit had attempted to steal our plans, but to date they've failed. Now, if our test planes crash, well, you know what the Army inspectors will say.
Oh, but if you tell them about the bombs,
We
they'll...
can't prove it, Patsy.
Oh.
The fact is that 2 of our planes have crashed, and we're using an absolutely radically different design. If Pete can borrow enough money to build another ship...
Oh, why not finish Tommy's invention?
Well, there isn't enough money, Patsy. Anyway, Pete has studied the plans and swears he can't see how it'll work.
Oh, but I
Oh,
could...
you and Buddy can work on it. Why not? But don't hope for too much. Pete's a good electrical engineer. He'll help you all he can. Just ask him.
Have you found it yet, Buddy?
I think so, but I'm not sure, Patsy. Now, here's where the landing field radio control belongs.
Hmm.
It's marked A131. Have you found that?
Let's see. A131. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, part of the plan is here, Patsy, but... Oh, maybe on the other side. Completed plan with blueprints in R. Brown's desk. Envelope A131. Do you think it's too late to get it from Ray?
oh, I'll give him a ring. He said he'd be in his office until 11. 416, please.
Patsy, we can take my car and
Hello,
drive...
Ray? This is Patsy. Buddy and I need some plans you have of Tommy's. Yes. All right, we'll leave right away. Right. We'll be there in about 10 minutes.
He probably stepped out for a minute. Let's go in.
All right. Buddy, Ray.
He's alive.
Oh.
Get some water. Ray, it's me, Buddy.
Oh, don't hit me. Oh, Buddy.
What happened? Here, I'll turn...
Look out, they stabbed me.
Patsy, phone the doctor and the police.
Right.
How'd it happen, Ray?
Well, just after Patsy phoned, I stepped out of the office for a minute. When I got back, a man stepped from behind the door, and he had a gun. He ordered me to unlock my desk.
Yeah?
A couple of minutes later, I lunged at him. I caught him off guard and knocked his gun away. I tried to get the gun, but he picked up the stiletto I use as a paper cutter and stabbed me. And then he knocked me down. I must have hit my head on the desk.
Well, did you get a good look at him?
No, he wore a mask.
The doctor and the police should be here in a few minutes.
Good.
I called Pete's house, but there was no answer.
That's funny. He said he was going to work at home tonight.
Patsy, look through Ray's desk and see what...
Oh, he was after the plans of our new aeroplane. Look in the bottom right-hand drawer. I was working on them just before it happened.
There were 2 sets of plans in Mr. Brown's desk, officer. One for the new model airplane he and his brother are building, and the other was...
The other was a set of plans Mr. Gray made, officer. He'd invented something that would greatly increase the safety of air transportation.
A crash preventer, eh?
Yes, that's what he called it.
What's the news, Mike?
I examined the knife pretty thoroughly, sir, but there aren't any fingerprints, not a one.
Yeah, Mr. Brown said the man wore gloves. No use keeping you here, Mike.
All right, sir. I'll check in at headquarters. Good night, sir.
No use keeping you two here either. Mr. Brown isn't badly hurt. Let both of you stay in town unless you tell me where you're going.
All right. We haven't anything to run from, officer.
Say, it's 11 o'clock.
Oh, you better go home and get some sleep, buddy. You've been working on the drawings every spare moment for the past week.
Yeah, well, I'll finish him tomorrow. What slowed me up was having to figure out part A131, the automatic takeover.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have me yawning in a minute, buddy. As soon as you're finished, we'll mail the plans to Washington. I have the patent papers all filled out.
Okay, Patsy. Well, see you about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Good night.
Good night, buddy.
Oh.
Buddy, what's the...
Put up your hand.
Who are you?
Shut up. Step back.
What do you want?
Turn around.
Hey, but...
Turn around.
You can't take those papers out of it.
So I can't take those drawings, eh?
Patsy.
Oh, my head.
Patsy, what happened?
Ooh, I'll be okay in a couple of minutes.
Who was it?
He wore a mask, but Hey, we've got to get to the airport right away. He hasn't much of a start, buddy. We may be able to stop him. Is Ray here, Jake?
You're kind of late, Mrs. Gray. He's just taken off.
Did he have a briefcase with him?
Yeah, and a lot of papers.
Patsy, you mean Ray?
Yes, I recognized his voice. Hold Jake till I take off.
Hey, you can't take that plane, Mrs. Gray. Hey, come back. Let go of me, buddy. You don't know how to fly.
Call an ambulance, buddy. There's liable to be a crash in midair.
Boy, I never seen one of them transport planes take off like that before. No sane pilot would have done it. That dame's lucky, taking off with the wind.
Ray's turning and heading east.
They're both up about 300 now. They'll never clear Hobson's Hill.
Look, Ray's wise to it. He's trying to climb.
Proceed. Look at them. They're only 50 feet apart. She's about 30 feet higher.
Jake, he's going to crash him.
2 days later, when Buddy Matson visited Patsy Gray at the hospital.
Too bad Tommy's invention was completely destroyed, Patsy, but maybe someday...
Let's not talk about it, buddy. Was Ray killed?
No, just badly hurt. His plane just skimmed the hill and landed on the other side, too. He was the one that tried to steal Tommy's invention.
Yes.
George was killed as a mask for Tommy's death.
Oh.
Ray set time bombs in both planes. Pete wasn't in on the deal at all. But if you hadn't recognized Ray's voice...
Oh, I suspected him before that, buddy. You remember
Ladies
when...
and gentlemen, did you discover the hidden clue that caused Patsy Gray to suspect Ray Brown? If you did, write into this station and tell us the hidden clue you found. And to check your powers of observation and deduction, listen for the correct hidden clue in this story the next time we present Suspicion.